Let's explore the first portion of the spaciousness of Vajrasattva and then meditate. This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi. This is the Lama you are looking for. This evening, we could chant and meditate and enjoy a lesson or two. But first, if you love Star Wars and you wish to meditate as transformatively as Luke Skywalker on Dagobah under the guidance of Yoda, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. If at any point during this evening's live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply either one of them, please do not be shy. Strike while the iron is hot. Type your question in great detail in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Please don't wait to the end of the live stream to ask me. So this is a partial translation. It is a work in progress. This is translated by Yeshe Donden, adapted and amplified by yours truly. Listen, O virtuous one, I will show you the truth of your being. You are in no ways have been like Vajrasattva, the infinite consciousness, living presence, and creative power of the divine. The vast spaciousness of being always good, the way of liberation for all beings, beyond appearance and disappearance, beyond the grasp of the intellect. Love being of essence, attainment is already complete, and there is no need to strive at practicing great compassion. Love being the supreme good, there is no need either to extol the many splendid qualities of compassion. Phenomena are not other than the true condition. Without input on our part, they appear and disappear. So let's explore that for a second. This reminds me of something Stephen King once said. And he was, I think, granting an interview pertaining to his composition, The Langoliers. I think if I'm remembering this correctly, he said he's terrified of flying and that he's convinced what keeps an airplane in the air is the fear of the passengers who are scared to crash. That's it. That's the only thing keeping the plane in the air. And if those passengers stop fearing, that's it for the plane, according to our friend Mr. King. And of course, he was being comedic. But all of us are raised in a patriarchal culture based on rigidity and controlling tendencies. And to be told that things appear and disappear regardless of our actions, our choices, our intentions can be deeply jarring. Let's continue. Naturally, arising wisdom need not be actively sought, Self-liberating by nature, it reveals the way. Earth, air, fire, and water, all the indwelling divine. Despite all mistaken notions, liberation draws from within our own being and is not dependent on others. So divine here is a translation of Yadam, and it seems to be a translation of Yadam, and the divine must not be taken literally, but figuratively. Supreme wisdom is difficult to realize, except by the way of wisdom itself. So that's kind of a conundrum, and the remaining passages are going to explore that. Dependence on others is merely notional, since flesh actually arises naturally from within. And yet the miraculous is not beyond our recognition. Due to intuitive insight into the natural state, our innate capacities and spiritual powers come to the fore naturally from within our own inner depths. Real meditation is effortless letting go in the true condition. The true condition never appears to us as something which can be seen. So, meditation is not concentration. Concentration is about rigidly clinging to something. Meditation is about letting go. Strive to grasp it, we prevent the recognition of it. Take two. Striving to grasp it, we prevent the recognition of its true nature. Nor can the supreme secrecy of the primal continuum be revealed by hearing about it, nor can words reveal its nature even in the barest measure. So it's very simple. As primates, we have evolved a autonomic nervous system. Every time we breathe in, we are wired to notice, vulnerably, passively, viscerally, and randomly. We don't have to force it, we just let it happen. Every time we exhale, our parasympathetic nervous system is wired for both physical relaxation and mental release. We don't have to force letting go. It's already wired into us. Let's continue. The suffering of sentient beings is only consciousness, intrinsically perfect energy in varied forms. Suffering is not an indictment. Some things happen all the time. Sometimes pleasurable, other times painful, sometimes interesting, other times boring, sometimes glorious, other times grotesque. Our response is the same: notice and release. Beyond movement unshaken, it abides equity and on. People talk of karma, in truth there is only consciousness beyond all our notions. So, there is awareness and release. It's not our job to look for a real or imagined punisher or rewarder. For those imprisoned in the ups and downs of thought and emotion, the pristine continuum of awareness remains hidden. So whether we are thinking or feeling, if those thoughts or emotions imprison us, we're in trouble. The key is to notice them and release them in harmony with our natural functions. I'll give you an example. I think it was last night as I led meditation. I was having some very unpleasant memories of events that occurred probably I'm going to guess about 25 years ago. And it's not my job to repress it or hold on to it or rewrite it or tell myself stories or paint myself as the victim or paint myself as the villain, just to notice it in complete vulnerability and relax. Relaxing is not code for shoving it away. Consider, if you will, the following aphorism. Whatever comes, good or bad, let it come. Whatever stays, pleasurable or painful, let it stay. Whatever goes, glorious or grotesque, let it go. Let's continue. The mind of awakening gives rise to all appearances. Being unborn, it is indestructible. This time, the space of pure being is beyond the reach of thought. So in this context, mind is of awakening, is the mind that notices and releases. So there's a difference between observing a thought and thinking a thought. Let's continue. The deepest meditative tranquility does not think of itself as this or that. There is no need to conceptualize or purify the mind of concepts. Although wisdom may, as it comes to the fore, take the forms of concepts. Thoughts are not our enemy. They are something that happens. Our brains do many things. Our brains perceive sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like. Our brains also emote, intend, reason, recall, and imagine. It's okay to sit back and enjoy the show. Some meditators strive to put their minds into a thought-free state, thinking this gives them access to some... Take two. Some meditators strive to put their minds into a thought-free state, thinking this gives them access to something subtle. They isolate themselves in lonely places. Examine closely, this seems to be a form of conceptual meditation. Ironic, is it not? Thinking in terms of causes and results, such seekers strive to transcend this world. They reject the good and accept... Take two. They reject the bad and accept the good. Although non-dual wisdom already transcends dualities like bad and good. So, we are already wired to be empathetic. It is wise to allow our empathy to flow from a place of centered spontaneity. Correct meditation will reinforce this natural circuit of centered spontaneity. So our job is not to push or pull. Our job is just to notice and release. The only label we need ever use is simply the pronoun this. Clinging to indifference. Take two. Clinging and indifference are concepts so to echo-like is anything in between. Joy and sorrow arise from the safe source, so dickless Vajrasattva, refuge of all. So, Echo-like is just another way of saying non-graspable. So both clinging and indifference are, therefore, can be experienced as non-graspable during each exhalation. Where else could aversion, attachment, and anger arise, except from the luminous energy of the mind? Let's consider the phrase luminous energy. Energy is dynamic and we can sense it with our body, especially as we breathe in. Luminous refers to the simile that which we perceive during our in-breath, once we start exhaling and relaxing, could then feel as if it was as non-graspable as light. If you've just joined me, welcome aboard. When you have questions about the Buddha's meditation or philosophy or how to apply them, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Objects of pleasure are also just this, formulations of the energy of the light of wisdom. Energy, is that what we perceive? Light refers to the experience of relaxing in harmony with our exhalation. Concepts are like space, but neither space nor concepts ever come into true existence. Abiding in space, abiding in spacious consciousness beyond desire and directed intent, one's condition widens to infinity. So true existence means graspable existence. So we're not talking about nihilism. We experience things tangibly as we breathe in, and during each exhalation as we relax, they seem less tangible and much easier to release. Concept-free equanimity is like the ground of being, but like the moon reflected on water, it cannot be grasped. Although the divine creative energy, this is a tough word, vibratory. Through the divine creative energy, the vibratory sounds of speech will manifest in the mandrake sounds of ah and ta and pa and their many elaborations express the creative power of infinite consciousness and figure forth the mind of light. How amazing the enlightened realm is never found by seeking, and can never be perceived by the six senses. Well, that is odd, isn't it? Those who seek it in this way are like blind ones grasping for the sky. A graduated spiritual path of purification is at odds with the effortlessness of the true condition. Realization does not come from following such a path. So if someone pulls you aside and says, listen, enlightenment's very difficult and it takes innumerable oceans of lifetimes to accomplish it. Thank them for their time and then run away because they don't understand that enlightenment can be quick. Buddha said it can be done in as little as a week. That is like searching for the end of space, the true condition of being what it is, revealed as it is, cannot be seen as a path to travel. For instance, you are a carbon-based human, as am I. We do not strive to be a carbon-based human. We are one already. Similarly, we do not have to force ourselves to notice and release. It's already wired into our autonomic nervous system. All we have to do is align our intention with it and let her rip. The state of effortless enlightenment is the source of all. Its manifestations are all marvelous wonders. Past and present combine within the true condition. The eternal now of consciousness is the path for all. Right here. So there's a subtle trick the clever teachers play. They talk about the perfect student, the perfect teacher, the perfect topic, the perfect place, the perfect time, the perfect companions. And all of them are these right here, right now. This is such as the light of wisdom, the realization of enlightened beings both past and yet to come. This living presence is the universal way, the moon in Take two. The moon and its reflection on water on Nandul. The mind of awakening is not found by those engrossed in fabricated features and stages of the way. Now listen, there are a lot of people who want to turn the path of enlightenment into a get-rich scheme. And so they attract students, and then they get their hooks in them, and they say, okay, you got to buy these books, attend these courses, and if you say your prayers and eat your vegetables, maybe, just maybe, you'll make progress on the path. The sad truth is, it's quicker and easier than the elitists or the lazy-minded say. Focusing attention on present pleasures and the future consequences is a limited way to follow any path. It is something to avoid. Past, present, and future are one, not three. Only the present has endured throughout time. The nature of reality pervades the whole of creation, its wonderful qualities everywhere to be found. Everything that appears in all the worlds derives from karma, is rooted in concepts, and is phantasmal in nature. Even the situation of a universal emperor is merely a training ground for dealing with illusion. Those who meditate using the time-bound intellect will never be liberated within the time frame of their imagining. Those who practice is rooted in present striving. Everything said about emptiness fully applies. The essence is one, unstructured, unborn, and the way of the yogi is like the path of a bird in the sky. And that's enough of the chanting for this session. Now, let's meditate. Remember, when you have a question about meditation or philosophy, the moment it occurs to you, type it in great detail in the chat window. As we breathe in, we practice the mindfulness that watches the play of mind. As silently and mentally we recite, notice this. During each exhalation, we practice the meditation that relaxes into mind's non-graspable nature. As silently and mentally we recite, relaxing. That's it. It's just that easy. If at any point during this live stream you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them, do not be shy. As soon as the question occurs to you, type it in great detail in the chat window. Welcome to this evening's live stream. When you have a question about Buddhist meditation or Buddhist philosophy or how to apply them to your life, do not be shy. Simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. Hello, Paul. I'm sorry, Pavel or is it Paul? I keep forgetting. Paul it is. If you feel I have earned it, type something in the chat window. Give this live stream a thumbs up and share it on social media. In approximately 10.5 hours, I would very much like to return to lead tomorrow's early morning meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy, and if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.